Preventive Heart Care KG Hospital aims to contribute its might to make national rural health care of India a success, and also participate in preventive care. 42% of our children are malnourished. 1.72 million children die each year before turning 1. Plus current projections suggest that India will have the largest cardiovascular disease burden in the world. 1/5 of the deaths in India are from coronary heart disease. By the year 2020, it will account for 1/3 of all deaths. Sadly, many of these Indians will be dying young. There are an estimated 45 million patients of coronary artery disease in India. An increasing number of young Indians are falling prey to coronary artery disease. With millions hooked to a roller coaster lifestyle, the future looks even more grim. There appears to be a steady increase in hypertension prevalence over the last 50 years, more in urban than in rural areas. Hypertension is 25 to 30% in urban and 10 to 15% in rural subjects. Sedentary lifestyle is a major cause of death, disease, and disability. Physical inactivity increases all causes of mortality, doubles the risk of cardiovascular disease, type 1 diabetes and obesity. It also increases the risk of colon and breast cancer, high blood pressure, lipid disorders and anxiety. Indians are at high risk for atherosclerosis and coronary artery disease. Preventive cardiology: children are one of the most vulnerable patient groups. It is, therefore, vital that we put their interests and the quality of service first. Children are the breadwinners for the family when they become responsible adults. In order that a child grows to his full potential and becomes productive to the family and the nation, it is necessary that early detection of heart ailments in them should be done, so that defects, if any, could be corrected timely. It is seen that heart ailments when developed in a young age cannot be cured if left unattended for years together. KG Hospital therefore plans to do heart screening for 2 lakh school children in the next 5 years. Save your heart. It is not true that we lack talent. What is true is that we do not know our own innate talents and capacities. We do not seem to care about our own heart, which seems to function non-stop from birth to death. Every day, we breathe in and out 23,000 times, inhaling and exhaling 450 cubic feet of air. Our heart inhales oxygen from the atmosphere and distributes the same to all vital organs. Our heart beats 1,00,000 times a day. During the lifespan of 70 years, Ophiman, heart beats 250 crore times during its tenure. Your heart pumps about 20,000 liters of blood every day. At every beat, your heart pumps half a liter of blood to other parts of the body. If our blood vessels are stretched, it will run to 10,00,000 kilometers. It is truly amazing that our blood travels so long a distance, every day. If your body weight goes up by just kilogram, it will mean that your blood has to travel an additional 30 kilometers. To cover the extra distance, the heart will have to do extra work. Higher your body weight, higher the workload on your heart. Hence it is our duty to take care of our heart, which functions in our interests ceaselessly. When you prepare for a long road journey, you do a routine checkup of all the vital parts of your car, but it is a matter of regret, we do not do such periodical checkup of our own heart, which takes us on our life's journey. We should not only take care of the hearts of our kith and kin but our own heart. We need healthy hearts to build up a strong nation. Yes, our health is our nation's strength. My hearty greetings to all of you. Padma Shri Dr. G. Bhaktavthusalam Chairman, K.G. Hospital. Human heart. Why not live a life of century? A heart-shaped balloon goes up and up in the air. A spark of fire from somewhere knocks on the balloon, making it explode, causing a shock in our minds. We are thrusting all trivial things into our hearts, as if it is an inflatable balloon, which is the cause of our present plight. By our indiscriminate loading of our bodies and hearts with trivia, we are only inviting the god of death in the guise of heart attack. It is a matter of shock and regret, that nearly over 7 lakh Indians fall a prey to heart attacks every year. It is a matter of consolation that only 5% of the patients, subject to heart ailments, succumb to it. It is also true that the incidence of heart attack is high among urban population. It is the lifestyle of the urban populace that is responsible for the missed calls of heart attack. A survey on the age and lifestyle of patients, WHO report for the KG Heart Hospital, Coimbatore, has confirmed that lifestyle is the main culprit. But one need not get panicky or alarmed by hearing the word heart attack. It does not serve to have a strong will but a weak heart, nor does it help to have a weak will, but strong heart. Both should be strong and healthy. The present generation earns a lot, but it spends the amount in unhealthy ways. It is no use asking what one should do to live a life of 100 years, one should ask what one should not do to become a centurion. Smoking cigarette is nothing but sending an SOS to heart attack, yet several people indulge in smoking. Chapati baked out of earthen stove has only 50 calories, whereas the chapati cooked in oily tawa has 200 calories. Chicken and red meats should be consumed moderately. By taking excessive oily preparations and dishes, we are only creating fatty deposits on our blood vessels and arteries, blocking the free flow of blood. Those who long to live for 100 years should take a vow to keep everything under 100, including high blood pressure, cholesterol. They should walk a minimum of 100 kilometers every month. Body weight should always be far below 100 kilograms. They should never stress themselves too much in the name of business, profession, and other tensions. Unfortunately, most of the younger generations get tensed on trivial grounds. By indulging in forbidden activities, they invite innumerable ailments. Those who love life should first love their own hearts. You may not like to live for 100 years, but you should strive to lead a life of health and well-being as long as you live, for which you should pay a little heed to your own heart. Those who wish to live a life of 100 years should take a vow to keep everything under 100 including high blood pressure, cholesterol, should walk an average of 100 kilometers every month, weight should be far below 100 kilograms. Do not ask what one should do to live for 100 years, ask what one should avoid. Oh. Swinging generation. What is your lifestyle? His is the story of rags to riches, from a humble hut to a palatial bungalow. His parents are toiling coolies. He is top scorer in his studies and came out in flying colors at state-level examination. His parents toiled hard to give him an education in information technology. Even at the university level, he notched up top honors, got himself selected at campus placement interviews which fetched him a fabulous job in Bangalore. His pay packet was a lump sum of Rs.75,000 per month, an income undreamed of by his toiling parents in their lifetime. The windfall fortune turned his lifestyle upside down. Copyright: a plush flat in a cozy apartment, a sleek new car, a girlfriend in his arms, pizza in his mouth, beer bottles in his fingers, English babble in his lisping tongue. After meeting his sundry expenses, he used to disperse a princely sum of Rs.5,000 every month to his aged parents, which they greeted with immense pride. All this tale of paradise came crushing down one day. One morning, his parents in the village received the shocker: he died of heart attack. All their dreams about their young son crashed, a cruel death just at the prime of youth of just 27 years. Who is the culprit? His lifestyle. Many of us know how to survive, but most of us do not know how to live. How to lead a life. The heart attacks which used to greet us in the olden times at the age of 70 or 80 are now visiting us at the age of 30 or 40. While we plan elaborately to visit a distant place, we don't seem to plan for our own long life. That is the reason, the life journey of many of our men and women is interrupted in the middle. Our lifestyle determines our life's journey. Our younger generation, in their anxiety to find paradise on earth, are hurrying fast to reach the hell. 5. Living as one likes cannot be called leading a life. It is only the neo-rich who choose the wrong pathways to destruction. On the one hand, there is an exciting world of computers and information technology. On the other hand, there is a world of idle luxury, The fast food is the fastest road to grave. There is nothing wrong to have non-vegetarian food once a week. But taking vegetarian diet just once a week is courting disaster. To lead a life of moderation, one needs self-discipline and a will. There is a close relationship between heart and mind. Good thoughts in the mind generate a hormone called endorphins. Bad and aggressive thoughts generate bad hormones called adrenaline. Excessive generation of adrenaline makes the heart to beat faster and faster. When your heartbeat rises frequently, then it is time for you to undergo ECG, treadmill test, CT scan, MRI scan and other diagnostic tests in quality medical institutions. Life is for living, but it is always better to establish your own outer boundaries to avoid disaster. Fast food is the fastest way to finish your life's journey. It is alright to have non-vegetarian food once a week, but it is disastrous to have vegetarian food just once a week. Nothing to fear. Rhythm in your heart. When an old film song is remixed, we instantly detect it if there is any slip in the rhythm, but when there is any slippage in rhythm in your heartbeat, we find it difficult to detect the signal. What are the implications of fall in the rhythm of your heartbeat? For some, there will be frequent fluttering in their heartbeat. Sometimes, they feel that their heart has come to a standstill. The culprit is your heartbeat. It is difficult to find out whether your heart beats faster or slower. When your heartbeat races to 200 per minute, ventricular tachycardia, you should rush to the hospital. No harm if it takes some time. An administration of medication integralin in the veins would be the first line of treatment. But if the heartbeat varies frequently, ventricular fibrillated, there will be no pumping of blood into the heart within 30 minutes. There will be steep fall in blood pressure which may prove fatal. This calls for a shock treatment. The permanent remedy is to install a device called defibrillator in your body. This device is more or less like the device pacemaker. It will protect the patient for several years. There are many reasons for this condition. The first one is needless fear and anxiety. Chronic users of drug, digitalis, which is given for strengthening heartbeat and for increasing each pause, diastole, are prone to this condition. Heavy users of coffee, tea, cola drinks, liquor, tobacco, or smoke, those subject to heavy secretions of thyroid glands and those suffering from chronic anemia are prone to this deficiency. For easy detection of this malady, there is a device called Holter monitor. This mobile phone-sized instrument can be fitted inside the body for constant monitoring. If you pay immediate attention to early symptoms like giddiness, agitation, or fear, it is good for your heart and a guarantee for your life. If these abnormal symptoms are ignored at their early stages, it will lead to disaster. A rapid rise in your heartbeat can be felt only by the individual within himself. If they are not diagnosed in time by competent doctors, it may be too late. Early diagnosis is sure to avert irreversible disaster. Excessive intake of coffee, tea, liquor, tobacco, or smoking, excessive secretion of thyroid glands and unmitigated anemia are the leading causes of irregular AF heartbeats. Threatening flutter. Flickering life. Just when you sit in an examination hall, as soon as the first bell rings, your heart starts fluttering. If I touch your chest, you can feel that your heart is galloping like a horse. Normally, your heart beats 72 times per minute. Children will have a heartbeat ranging from 100 to 120 beats per minute, while teenagers will have a heartbeat of 70 to 80 beats per minute. Sportsmen and athletes will have heartbeat ranging from 55 to 60. During stressful times like on the eve of examination results, the heartbeat may go up to 120 beats per minute. Some feel slight pain in chest on such occasions. Such rapid rise in heartbeats cannot be easily detected by ECG. Normally, our blood flows from auricle to ventricle and not vice versa, thanks to mitral valve. Sometimes due to a defect in the mitral valve, this one-way blood flow is affected. This is called mitral valve prolapse in medical jargon. This is a physical condition and not a disease. when a bundle of veins called sinoatrial nodes situated at the opening of superior vena cava into the right atrium of the heart does not function properly, the heartbeat slows down to 50 to 30 times per minute. It will affect the flow of blood into the brain. The patient will faint even while standing. This faint is called cardiac syncope in medical jargon. So, whenever somebody faints, one should rush the patient to the hospital without hesitation for a heart checkup, failing which the condition may lead to stroke, paralysis, or even heart attacks. Those having irregular heartbeats are often fitted with an instrument called pacemaker with lead wires as slender as hair. This instrument can be fitted in the chest under the skin. This procedure costs around Rs.70,000 nowadays. These instruments are useful in slowing down the heartbeats. There is also an instrument called ventricular tachycardia to speed up the heartbeat from 160 to 200 beats per minute. To bring down the high count, mild shock is administered to the patient to achieve normal pace. If the shock treatment is delayed even by 5 minutes, it will arrest the outflow of blood from the heart, leading to fatal consequences. To bring down the heartbeat to 80 times per minute, a new device called implantable cardioverter has been introduced using the latest nanotechnology. This device weighs hardly 500 grams. There is a saying everything has a limit. This is true of our heartbeats. If you can detect any irregularity in your heartbeat at right time and get treatment, there is nothing to fear. And sportsmen and athletes have strong heart, which means their heartbeat is around 55 to 60 per minute. 10. A troublesome balloon. It is common knowledge that many fat people go to enormous length to shed their weights. But there are also people who try their best to put on weight but without success. For some, being lean is a boon. For many, it is a curse. The culprit, of course, is tuberculosis, or TB in short. When you think of TB, you always think of lungs. It is wrong. It may also infect your heart. How? Around our heart, there is a balloon-like sac called pericardium. The outer fibrous part covers the heart. The inner serous part is a closed membrane attached to the heart valve as well as to pericardium. In the resulting sac, there is at 0 ml fluid which enables smooth movement as the heart beats. This sac is subject to attack by tuberculosis, leading to a condition known as pericarditis. Within first 2 months of TB attack, one will feel chest pain. If no timely treatment is given to this condition, the fluid in the sac will swell, leading to another condition called pericardial effusion. At one stage, it will affect the heart, constricting its movements. The pericardial constriction will have serious implication for the heart's normal functioning. But this is 100% treatable condition. The first step, of course, is ECG to find out the incidence of T.B. infection. When the fluid in the sac swells, leading to constriction of the heart, the patient is advised to undergo echocardiogram screening. If the incidence is detected at early stages, the fluid in the sac can be withdrawn with a hollow needle or cannula. The CT scan of the chest will also give a clear picture of the infection. When the infection due to TB is advanced, the pericardium sac itself can be surgically removed in a procedure called pericardectomy. All the medicines for the treatment of the above condition are available in all the government hospitals as well as KG Hospital, thanks to the munificence of World Health Organization. One getting leaner and leaner may look smart, but it is not always a boon. Your body may shrink, but your life should not. So, get yourself a medical checkup periodically when you shrink alarmingly. Between the heart wall and the balloon-like sac called pericardium, there is a fluid of 10 milliliter, which makes your heart function smoothly. 12. Blue baby is a red signal. Very often, doctors examining a baby in a pediatric hospital as well as examining a young man of 25 years, we call them as a blue baby. What an anomaly! A young man called as blue baby. Blue babies are those born with some defects in their hearts at the time of birth. Even while at birth, children can have 4 defects in their hearts. This is called, in medical jargon, as tetralogy of Fallot. They are interventricular septal defect, pulmonary stenosis, right ventricular hypertrophy, malposition of the aorta. There are 4 chambers in the human heart. Due to a hole in the lower chambers, right and left ventricle, there is scope for the mixing of the blood. The 2 arteries could have interchanged, or the 2 arteries could have been located in the same chamber. Babies with above conditions are called blue babies. The oxygenated blood is usually of blood red color, and deoxygenated blood will look blue-black. Babies born with this defect will appear in dark colors. People who are dark-skinned by nature may not exhibit this condition so patently in their appearance. Only after 3 months of birth, this defect will be externally visible. Some babies will become blue after prolonged crying. Some of them may even faint after prolonged crying. Since the blood is frozen in this condition, the flow of blood into the brain is impeded, leading to paralysis, fits, If this defect is not diagnosed and treated in time, some babies may lose consciousness, which may prove fatal. Since this congenital heart defect is manifested in the poorer sections of the society, the Tamil Nadu government itself has come forward to provide assistance and help to these unfortunate children. Unlike normal babies, the heartbeats of these kids will not be sounding lab-dab. It will sound like murmuring gear. If hands are placed on the chest of the affected kids, one would feel a sharp jerk. With the help of stethoscope, this defect can easily be diagnosed. It will be useful if nurses are also trained to feel the symptom in the babies. Further tests such as X-ray, ECG, echocardiogram, and angiogram will be confirmatory of this malaise. During a recent free medical camp at Karaikudi in Tamil Nadu, sizable number of people ranging from 3-year-old kid to 30-year-old young men were found to be suffering from this congenital defect. This defect can be removed through simple surgery. KG Hospital, Coimbatore, has so far treated over 2,000 such babies with surgeries successfully. All of them are now hale and healthy. If untreated at the early stages, children will hardly cross 10 years of age. There are also rare few who manage to survive till the age of 30. But such grown-up blue babies will not be very active. They cannot even walk in normal speed. It is the duty of the parents to admit their wards in the nearest hospital if they come across such symptoms in the early years. Congenital heart defects are pronounced among poorer sections of the society. Hence the state governments extend all their support for their surgical corrections. 14 Nothing is sudden. Our Jawans can easily tackle enemies in direct confrontation, but it is the clandestine enemy as we faced in Kargil few years ago who are more dangerous. Not only for the country but also for our bodies. Silent enemies are greater hazard. We often hear, "This person was all right, but one day while watching television, he collapsed and met his death." Such tales are quite common in our midst. But it is not at all true. Whenever a gentleman felt some pain in the chest, he would have taken some home remedy such as ginger juice and Digene tablets. Like a clandestine guerrilla warrior, a surprise attack would have caused his death. If only people are vigilant, such sudden deaths are preventable. Our bodies may be hosting dozens of diseases. Some of the diseases are externally manifest in the form of identifiable symptoms, but there are some diseases which manifest only at advanced stages, which may be too late. It is something like our overhead tank, which reveals itself as full only when it is overflowing. No one can specifically say that they got this particular disease on a particular time, particular date, particular month and year. No disease is suddenly onset. It will manifest only after some lapse of time. For many of us, after a square meal, some pain in the chest will be felt. There may be heartburn. While climbing stairs, some will be breathing hard. They may be feeling palpitation of the heart during sexual intercourse. These are early warning signals for heart attack. But these symptoms are experienced within oneself. Butyl must be aware of these portents. Every diabetic is prone to heart problem. When high blood pressure, high cholesterol count in the blood accumulate, one should know that one is galloping like a racehorse towards heart attack. 15 Whenever there are early symptoms of high blood pressure, diabetic sugar, or high cholesterol content, the patients should undergo treadmill test, echocardiogram and other diagnostic tests. The glucose tolerance test, GTT, is very useful for early diagnosis of diabetes. One should also check and monitor their blood pressure and cholesterol contents periodically. Laziness is always harmful, but it is disastrous in the case of failing to undergo screening tests. Our people are generally fatalistic, but one should not forget that a fatal heart attack not only affects the individual, his entire dependent family is also affected. Just imagine for a moment what will happen if an airline pilot or a bus driver has heart attack while in operation. Prevention is always better than a belated cure. One can never tell that they got this disease a particular time, particular date, or month. No disease is sudden. Only after 5 or 6 months after onset, many diseases, including heart ailments, will manifest. 16. An exception for Eve. Women always get special consideration in our society. It is no wonder, even in the case of heart attacks, they are spared more often than their male counterparts. How can women have heart attacks, when they did not have hearts, asks a naughty youngster, male. Another lonely heart, Devadas of Bunkim Chandra Chatterjee, reasons that women are the main cause of heart attacks in men and not vice versa. Despite such snide remarks, it is a matter of consideration, why women are less prone to heart attacks. Behind this phenomena, there is much to ponder over nature's gesture. In the olden days, it used to be said that man has social responsibility while women are confined to kitchens. Such a situation no longer exists, with increasing number of women engaged in various types of occupations outside their homes. Both men and women face same type of situations in their workday life. If so, why women are less prone to heart attacks? It is a fallacy to believe that women are a weaker sex. If after monthly menstruation, pregnancy, childbirth, and household work, women continue to function normally, it means that there is some innate strength in her, which is a gift of goddess nature. On an average, if 100 men suffer from heart attacks, the number of women will be around 10. If blood pressure and blood sugar counts are same for both sexes, why this unusual exception in the case of heart attacks? No doubt it is the gift of God. When girls come of age at 14, eggs are released in their ovaries every month in the form of menses. This shedding off monthly blood is compensated with the hormone estrogen. This hormone protects the woman from her weakens. From menarche to menopause, up to the age of 50 years, this vital hormone estrogen gives strength and protection to women. But once a woman crosses menopause, she becomes on par with men with regard to heart ailments. 17. After menopause, not only there is fall in the secretion of estrogen, but her bones are likely to become brittle due to loss of calcium. To face this problem, women can undergo a test called lipoprotein and undertake medical treatment. For women who often consume large quantity of sweets and fatty foods, there is every danger of their body circumference shooting to 36 to 40 inches. This symptom is called metabolic syndrome, and such women are good targets for heart attacks. Nowadays, women think that since they are doing heavy household work, they may not get heart problems. With the introduction of modern kitchen gadgets, such as mixie, wet grinders, and washing machines, the workload of women has gone down. There is no normal sweating in work nowadays. Of course, outdoor exercises such as aerobics, gymnasium, and swimming will no doubt produce sweat. Those who have no such options can engage themselves in skipping, sit-ups, it. If no other avenue is available, they can at least roam inside the house at least 100 times till they sweat. Walking is good, but it should be at the rate of 5 km per hour to be purposeful. Instead of wasting one's time in front of TV mega serials, it will be advisable to have mega walk daily. It is wrong on the part of housewives to think that they have heavy household work and that they need not engage in physical exercises. 118. Caution, aerobics. Hey, you come across a word Taiko Kushbu? Don't jump to the conclusion that it must be the name of a Tamil film heroine. It is a Japanese term, which means that a woman's heart is no match for a man's heart. This is the outcome of a Japanese research. Let us now examine still further. In the West, the lifestyle of men and women are more or less the same. Such a situation is slowly creeping into urban India. Not only in earning but in every field, women are competing slowly with men, even in smoking, partying and liquor imbibing. Medical researchers are now telling that upper-class high-income women are increasingly prone to heart attack. The lifestyle-induced heart ailment goes by the name of stress-induced cardiomyopathy, which is disastrous. Those with this condition do not suffer from blockage in their arteries, their heart muscles get damaged. The result is that their arteries get shrunk, leading to breathlessness, high BP, etc., with fatal consequences. The Japanese doctors who studied these problems among women noticed that women's hearts are not as strong as men's heart to bear any stress or load. While engaged in talks on PAR with men, the women's heart cannot cope up with stress of work according to Japanese doctors. Women may compete with men and accept jobs in call centers and information technology parks. But they should remember that their hearts do not have the capacity to cope up with the work on PAR with men. Imitating men in alcoholism or cigarette smoking is far more disastrous for women than for their male counterpart. Similarly, indulging in pizza, fast food, cola, ice cream, and chocolate may load up their bodies enormously. But to undo the excessive weight through crash diet or aerobics, dance, and gym, within a short spell, is hazardous. 19. Physical exercise is no doubt good, but it should be within limits and under expert medical guidance. But when your body puts on weight, blood sugar as well as blood pressure and cholesterol also will climb up with serious consequences. Of late, in India also, one comes across cases of protruding stomach called metabolic syndrome among upper-class women. To avert such eventualities, girls should be trained right from childhood on proper dieting and physical exercises. If you want to indulge in crash course of weight reduction through aerobics, gym, and dance, you must first give a checkup of your heart. Only after thorough heart screening, one should engage gradually in aerobics, gym, or dance for orderly slimming. The slim waist, commented by our ancient writers, may be ideal, if not practicable. At least girls should aim to keep their middle light enough for their hearts to function without hassle. Physical exercise is essential for health, but it should be sound and medically commendable. At 20. Procrastination, an invitation to death. He is just a retired police officer, settled in his own home. Peaceful atmosphere, loving relationships, commencement of a life of leisure and harmony. One night, he felt giddy. His wife advised him to consult a doctor immediately. Let us wait till the morning, he cautioned. In the morning, his wife greeted him with his flavoring coffee, but she was greeted with a tragedy. Her husband had expired in his sleep. Reason: heart attack. The police officer is not alone. The silent killer has taken several victims of this kind. The culprit is not your disease, but it is procrastination. Most of us postpone all essential tasks. It is a national malaise. People with high blood pressure and diabetes should never ignore signals such as giddiness, chest pain, body ache, or backache. Liquor addicts and chain smokers should also never ignore such alarm signals. It is a common practice among our people to take some home remedies. Every time they have giddiness or nausea, blaming it on indigestion. You should not resort to indigestion pills or drink soda water for heartburns. If you have any such unusual signals, without hesitation, you should rush to your family doctor. Any delay may mean invitation to God of death, Yama. Within an hour of chest pain or fainting, you should rush to the hospital for treatment. This first hour is golden hour in medical circles. Reaching the right hospital in right time should be our immediate concern. You yourself should not seek a medicine for indigestion from your general practitioner. It is the duty of doctors to study all parameters, give correct diagnosis and commence right treatment in earnest. There is every chance that the first ECG may give a reading of normalcy. Second ECG after some time is advisable. 21. Those who rush to the hospital at the last minute, should undergo besides ECG, other tests such as echocardiogram, angiogram, etc., to rule out any serious complications. Those who are normally heavyweight or obese and those who are always tense in their daily life should undergo periodical checkup as a precaution, otherwise, there is every danger of your heart attack taking you by surprise at odd hours. Eternal vigilance is the price for healthy life. This unusual malaise has claimed several victims. This malaise is not heart attack, itis your procrastination. 22 Heart failure is not heart attack. Generally, people often confuse heart failures and heart attacks. Medically speaking, the two conditions are different. The two terms need some explanation. Heart attack is often fatal. On the other hand, if there is insufficient pumping of blood from the heart to the other parts of the body due to some defect in the heart muscles, it is called heart failure. When you are walking in a plane surface, if you suffer from breathlessness or short of breath, then it is an indicator of heart failure. There are several causes for heart failure. Excessive intake of alcoholic drinks may weaken heart muscles. Due to birth defect in lungs, there may be insufficient flow of blood into lungs which may cause heart failure. Middle-aged women above 30 years are often prone to heart failure due to pulmonary primary hypertension. Infection of the lungs may also cause weakening of heart muscles. Diabetic patients often have blockages in their coronary arteries which will affect their pumping of heart. This condition is called diabetic cardiomyopathy. There is a case of 50-year-old man with a history of diabetes and high blood pressure. During a checkup, a blockage in his coronary artery was detected. This has weakened his heart muscle and the pumping efficiency was reduced to 20% of the normal efficiency. All the three arteries had blockage, 2 of the blood vessels exhibited thick scars. Though he was given drugs for dilating his arteries, it had no effect, so, he had to undergo modern surgical procedure called angioplasty. This procedure involves widening or reopening a narrowed or blocked blood vessel. A balloon is inserted and then inflated to clear the obstruction. Under this procedure, by angioplasty, the blockage in one of the arteries is removed and normal blood supply to the heart restored, so that the heart could resume its normal pumping. 23 There are also gadgets to improve the pumping action of the heart. If the heart muscles are even slightly active, the modern bypass surgeries or angioplasty can help to revive the heart's pumping. When the heart muscles become inactive, there is chance of swelling in the heart. This swelling can be surgically removed, so that the heart can resume its normal pumping. Artificial heart can also be implanted. If heart failures are not detected and treated in time, it may mean failure of life, however successful one may be in their professions. Heart attack has fatal consequences. On the other hand, heart failure is drop in the outflow of blood from the heart to other parts of the body. If you feel short of breath while walking in plain ground, it is a signal that you are a candidate for heart failure. 24 Anger, enemy to health. Though our ancient seers, including Tiruvalluvar, have decried the human emotion anger in their writings, it is quite prevalent in our midst. If get angry, I will not be a human being. This dialogue is quite common among many of us. When an elephant runs amok, he causes immense damage. Anger does the same thing for human beings also. Small anger causes great loss. One can describe anger as a little madness. Many of us are not aware that anger can also lead to loss of one's precious life. Take the case of a 50-year-old executive from Erode. He is a great conciliator of all disputes. Though only 50, he weighs over 100 kgs. He did not suffer from diabetes, but his blood pressure often raised to 160 to 180 counts. Complaining often about frequent palpitation of his heart, one day, he checked into KG Hospital for a routine checkup. His ECG reading was not normal. An angiogram was administered to him which revealed that there is a blockage in one of his arteries. Within 2 hours, the doctors at K.G. Heart Center removed his blockage by administering dilatory drugs. He returned home with satisfaction. His lifestyle is the cause of his distress. The uncontrollable anger which he exhibited is the main culprit. We get angry when we fail to get what we want, or when somebody disobeys our advice. Anger is only a temporary emotion, but we do not realize its permanent damage. No wonder, anger is called temporary madness. While one is angry, the adrenaline hormone secretes in our body rapidly. This hormone narrows the path of our blood vessels. When the blood vessel narrows, less blood flows, leading to accumulation of blood in the face and our face reddens. When you are excessively angry, the heart has to overwork to pump more blood. Anger hurts not only our mind, but also our body. One loses health, wealth, and even respect while one is under the control of anger. Ultimately, anger also proves fatal. 25. We always value most what we have lost and rue over loss. What can one do to control anger? Some advise to take little slips of water, others advise taking of coffee or cool drinks, but the best solution is surrendering your anger to the God Almighty. Many people offer silk saris, gold chain, thulabaram of paddy grains according to one's weight to the God as their avowed offering. But the best offering is your anger. Imagine you are offering your anger in a plate and present it to the gods. What is once offered to God can never be taken back. So, gift your anger to your deity and God will give you his immeasurable love in return. When you are excessively angry, your heart has to pump more blood into your system. Anger not only ruins your peace of mind, but also your wealth, health, and status. Ultimately, anger may prove fatal. 26. Mediclaim, a bonus for long life. A leading surgeon in Japan is $1 years old, his assistant is 75 years, together they can complete any major surgery in half an hour. Only in our country people above 70 years are isolated as oldie, nobody takes any interest on their health care. In our country, anyone above the age of 70 years are isolated as senior citizens. But there are high achievers even among them. In United States, one can find people getting married in their 70s or 80s. They have enormous confidence in their own health. Americans spend nearly $300 billion every year for treatment of old people. In India, while there are some protections for old people, the medical attention paid to them is far from satisfactory. If a senior citizen complains of chest pain, his routine checkup may cost up to Rs.10,000/. Further clinical examination of such persons may require several more thousands of rupees. If only they had medical insurance, their health care need not be a matter of concern. As one ages, symptoms such as high blood pressure, diabetes, rise in cholesterol and blockage in coronary arteries are unavoidable. If these symptoms are ignored at the right time, they may succumb to heart attacks. Value of medical insurance can be appreciated only during such contingencies. For blockage in coronary arteries, a bypass surgery may be the only solution. If these persons had full medical insurance policy, they need not bother about the high cost of surgery. There is need to create awareness among our people about the importance of medical insurance. It is sad to note that many unorganized workers such as auto drivers, technicians, construction workers, porters, farmers, retail shopkeepers and road workers in our country do not have any protection any accidents or major diseases. 27. During festive occasions like Deepavali, there is nothing wrong in spending bonus amount on new clothes, sweets, or crackers. But if only a portion of the amount is diverted for health protection in the form of medical insurance, it will be truly a bonus for long life. Bypass surgery may be the only option for having blockages in their arteries. If only the patients had medical insurance cover, they need not worry about the high cost of surgical procedure. There is need to create an awareness about the importance of medical insurance among people in our country. 28. Heart attack will not spare the mighty. Krishnan is a prominent farmer of Ujamalpet Taluk. No temple festival or Kumbhi Abhishekam can take place without his munificence in his place. Due to frequent power cuts, he could not irrigate fully his land of 27 acres. Nearly 20 acres of his land had to remain fallow for want of water, which hurt the farmer. Once he was invited to a relative's wedding. In the company of his relatives, he had a full stomach. Throughout the night, he felt uneasy in his stomach, Blaming his gas trouble, he asked his wife to give him a home remedy. Piece of crushed ginger. After a sleepless night, he woke up to a disturbing morning. He took a cup of black tea, still feeling uncomfortable. He fetched a car and drove straight to a hospital at Coimbatore. Even while entering the gates, he fell down clutching his chest. He was rushed to the intensive care unit, where despite strenuous efforts by a team of doctors, he did not survive. A massive heart attack claimed his precious life. Even a mighty man like Krishnan fell a victim to massive attack. Murders, suicides, and road accidents make a heavy toll on human lives, but none of them could compete with heart attack in its intensity. Rich or poor, educated or illiterate, upper caste or lower caste, Hindu or Muslim, nobody can claim immunity to the ferocity of heart attack. Why this sudden death? Whenever you feel slight pain in the chest, it is advisable to rush to your general practitioner immediately. There is no need for the big farmer like Krishnan to travel all the way to Coimbatore. For those above the age of 50 years, heart attack would spell instant death. Most of the senior citizens, with chest pain, postpone their visit to hospital under one pretext or another, but heart attack will not wait for any opportune moment. 29. Take the case of another Islamic gentleman. He was rushed to a Coimbatore hospital after a chest pain. He was given an expensive medicine called Metaluz. Next morning, he sat in his bed cheerfully, but his doctor-educated son-in-law was not satisfied. He suggested an angiogram for his father-in-law, for which the gentleman was waiting patiently in front of cath lab. After telling his kinsman that he wanted to visit toilet, the old man suddenly collapsed. All those attending on him, including his doctor's son-in-law, were devastated by this. That is the case with heart attack. It never gives any advance notice. There is no alternative to early and timely diagnosis and treatment. KG Hospital is equipped with the latest 128 slice Cort scanner, which will detect within 5 minutes any blockage anywhere in the arteries. Treatment can follow later. One can have bypass surgery, one can change one's lifestyle to ward off the attack according to a medical advisor. Whenever you feel chest pain, rush to the nearest general practitioner near your home. It is wrong to travel long distance after chest pain, even for simple diagnosis. Heart attack is a major killer among senior citizens, above the age of 50 years. Many senior citizens often postpone visit to the hospital, but heart attack waits for no man, no right moment. 30. Travel right in case of emergencies. People rush to hospitals, in sorts of vehicles without knowing the consequences. Take the case of Kumaraswamy, aged 65 years. He was having chest pain for more than 2 days. He went to a nearby clinic where the ECG reading looked like a scribbling of a tiny toddler. He told his wife, engaged an auto rickshaw and rushed to the nearest clinic. Even while waiting for the doctor to examine him, he collapsed. The hospital attendants immediately rushed him to the intensive care unit for screening. The ECG taken on the occasion revealed the shocking message. His heart has stopped functioning. And for revival of his heart, the doctors at the ICU and cardiac center resorted to artificial respiration through ventilator and other means. After sustained efforts, his heart started beating again. But doctors found that there was no movement in his body. Doctors suspected whether the patient had any clot in his brain. But thanks to his good fortune, there was no clot. Immediately, an angiogram was administered. 2 blockages in his 2 arteries were noticed. By administering dilatory medicines, the blood flow was temporarily resumed. Only after resumption of blood flow, his body showed symptoms of movement. He was given artificial respiration through ventilator and kept under anesthesia for 18 hours. Only after prolonged effort and observation, the patient regained normal consciousness. But doctors, however, felt that the patient needed bypass surgery, CABG, to sustain himself with confidence. After 3 days of battle, when his blood sugar level and blood pressure were restored to normal, a bypass surgery was performed. No doubt, Kumaraswamy got a new lease of life. 31. Normally, only about 10% of the patients with suspected heart failure will have mild pain. They may survive without any treatment, but in case of excruciating pain, one should not hesitate to rush to the hospital. While rushing to the hospital, one should be careful about the mode of travel. Traveling in an auto rickshaw in a sitting position may not be right. Before rushing to hospital, they should consult the experts of a heart care hospital and give necessary first aid. Afterwards, they should requisition the services of a fully equipped ICU ambulance van for transportation to the heart care center. Such ambulances would have competent technicians and doctors to give first aid to the patient, as if in an intensive care unit, otherwise the journey to the hospital may prove to the patient's last journey in his life. Only 10% of the patients with symptoms of heart failure can survive without any treatment. Others and those having heavy pain should rush to the nearest hospital in a specially equipped ambulance. 32. Stress is your heart's distress. Though there are many reasons for heart attacks, there are many ways to avert heart attacks. The day-to-day events often lead us to tension, causing stress in your mind. When stress becomes unbearable, it may lead to heart attacks. There is need to adopt a moderate lifestyle to avoid heart attacks. In the life's journey, our body is our vehicle, our mind is our driver. It is our thoughts that guide our life's journey. Everyone should strive to adopt a lifestyle suited to his own needs and conditions. One should pre-plan how one should lead his life. There are few things which one should control. These include stress and bad habits such as smoking, liquor, and fatty food. One should keep one's cholesterol counts within limits, blood sugar and blood pressure should be within prescribed limits. There are few things which one should scrupulously observe: moderate weight, balanced food with green fruits and vegetables occupying 60% of your daily diet intake, moderate physical exercise, yoga and meditation. The day-to-day events and incidents in our life should not be viewed as challenges. One should learn to take every event in its stride. We should not get agitated for every unexpected event. When one gets angry, he virtually becomes bad. Anger hurts not only his mind but also his health. We should learn to be useful to others, which will promote one's happiness. Loading one's mind with stress will only cause distress to your heart. For our day-to-day events, we can blame 60% on the environment, 30% on others, only 10% can be attributed to oneself. If we can modify the environment around us, 40% of our stress can be avoided. 33 Psychologists have divided human personalities into two categories. Type A personalities are those who are aggressively active and building up tension within themselves. Type B personalities are those who live with a could-not-care-less attitude in their daily life. Nothing can affect them. Type A personalities are taskmasters, goal-driven people, and engaged in relentless pursuit of their ambition regardless of its consequences. These are right candidates for heart attacks. But it is only the B-type personalities who are real achievers in life. Every challenge for them is an opportunity for excelling. One can safely conclude that Type A personalities are a negative people. Type B personalities are B positive, who have positive attitude to every event in their life. Our day-to-day events and incidents should not be considered as challenges. Try to treat them as natural, never agitate for simple things, be positive. 34 Clean teeth. Gateway to healthy heart. The quickest way to a man's heart is through his stomach, according to a French proverb. But modern dental research claims that clean teeth may hold the key to a man's healthy heart also. The bacteria or microorganism which infect our teeth often cause heart attack. There is a bacteria called subacute endocarditis which infect the valves of one's heart, leading to heart attack. This bacteria is often found superimposed on previous heart valve lesion. It has also been reported that some of the throat infections and the pus formed over our body injuries often promote various kinds of germs which take a refuge in our arteries and blood vessels, creating blockage. Though there are many known and unknown causative factors for heart attacks, tooth decay is now emerging as one of the innumerable causes for heart attack. Our teeth are hosts to bacterial infections. Neglecting tooth decay may lead to heart attacks also. The microorganism called Helicobacter pylori, which is the major cause of gastric ulcer, can also lead to heart attacks. According to latest research, there is a virus called cytomegalovirus. The infection of the virus is found mostly in children and infants. It has also been found in adults undergoing open heart surgery. The fever affects blood, kidney, liver, gastrointestinal tract, and respiratory tracts. By infecting blood vessels, it may lead to heart attacks. We generally think that only the fatty deposits in our arteries and blood vessels promote heart attacks. Now it has been discovered that an inflammatory boiling-like phenomenon in our arteries may provoke heart attacks. In the early stages, the white blood cells in the inner lining of the arteries die due to sudden boiling phenomenon. The dead white cells then become deposits in the arteries, leading to blockages. 35. Dental hygiene is a must. Drinking boiled water, keeping one's hands clean by hand washing, and use of quality toothpaste will go a long way in dental hygiene. If dental infection leads to heart problems, it may be controlled with antibiotics. Clean teeth is not a matter of dental hygiene alone, it may also be a gateway to healthy heart. Our teeth are host to a number of bacterial infections. Those who ignore dental problems may be inviting heart problems also. The virus causing gastric ulcer, by name Helicobacter pylori, is now discovered to induce heart attacks also. 36. Give us good fat. When we go to our grocery, our housewives ask for a good edible oil. But majority of us do not know how to select good edible oil which is good for our health. It is very simple. When our body's good fat shrinks and bad fat, cholesterol, shoots up, we get high blood pressure, stroke, and even heart attacks. Our food habits as well as our lifestyle predispose one to good health or bad health. When we take high-fat food, it deposits in our blood, leading to a condition known as dyslipemia. This condition leads one to high blood pressure, diabetes, heart failure, etc. For this fat-induced condition in our body, it is the edible oil in our diet that is mainly responsible. Edible oils have been categorized as one containing soluble fats, insoluble fats, and mix of the two. If the content of soluble fat is high in our diet and the content of insoluble fat is very low, it will lead to accumulation of bad cholesterol in our arteries, resulting in heart failure. It is the soluble fat that stick to our cells, creating all sorts of problems. The insoluble fat in our body is generally expelled through our excretory organs. Hence it is essential that in our diet, the proportion of soluble fat should be less and that of the insoluble fat should be more to avert complications, but people are invariably confused in choosing the right edible oil. But a simple rule of the thumb is that vegetable oils are generally preferable than animal fats. Gingerly oil, groundnut oil, sunflower oil, olive oil, etc., have more insoluble fat than animal fats. By choosing different vegetable oils alternatively in our cooking, it will be possible for us to keep our body in healthy condition. 37. It is also true that repeated use of boiled oil is harmful. In boiling the oil, the proportion of soluble fat will increase. Refining of edible oil will also enhance the content of soluble fat, as in the case of vanaspati. The cow's ghee is not at all good. People often wonder whether cow's ghee is not good for children, but it is advisable that even at tender age, children are given less of ghee or ghee-made products. Those who are accustomed to cow's milk are predisposed towards diabetes and heart failure. If proper dieting is followed right from the young age, the latter-day complications arising out of obesity can be avoided. Everything should be within limits. Otherwise, excess is always harmful. The vegetable oils are always good for health. The animal fat is not good for health. The vegetable oils such as gingerly oil, groundnut oil, sunflower oil, and olive oil have more insoluble fat and hence they are recommended for health. 38. Don't play with your heart. It was an exciting football match. Thousands are keenly watching as a young footballer races with the ball. Suddenly the player collapses. Doctors rush to the ground to administer first aid to the player, but it is too late. The footballer died of heart attack. How did it happen that a young man, who was sprinting like a wind 5 minutes ago, is now no more? This is called athlete's heart in the West. It is quite possible that the young man had some congenital problem right from birth. This might have aggravated by strenuous exercise and mental stress. Such a phenomenon is called mechanical disease in medical circles. Sometimes, due to variation in electrical impulses, leading to the heart, complications may arise. For sportsmen and athletes who engage in continuous physical exercise, their heart muscles might thicken. This might result in impediment in the blood flow to the heart, leading to heart attacks. Sometimes, there may be problem in the contraction and expansion of the heart muscles. The heart may contract, but its expansion may be affected due to thickening of heart muscles. This may lead to blockage in aorta, the great artery from left ventricle, which is often fatal. Birth defects very often cause impediment to the electrical impulses reaching the heart. If they are not attended to in early stages, it may lead to cardiac arrest. Sometimes, the stress of competitive sport can claim a heavy toll. During acute stress, certain chemical reactions, catecholamine, may induce racing of the heart pump. The sudden spurt in the pumping action may make heavy demand for blood, which may be insufficient. This phenomenon called aortic incompetence can also be experienced by those engaging in vigorous exercises such as jogging or trekking, with the aim of weight reduction. It is not only sportsmen and athletes who are prone to this phenomenon. Even those who undertake heavy workload also are prone to such attacks. It is good to have high ambition to become high achievers. But one should not neglect one's heart. If everybody realizes this, not only players but every one of us can become high achievers, without sacrificing one's life. Many sportsmen and athletes collapse in the ground. This phenomenon is called athlete's heart. 40 Mind your mind. A Japanese grandfather runs in a marathon race. Though he is aged 85 years, a religious saint is over 120 years old, yet he undergoes an operation successfully. Leaders who have crossed 80 years in our country often are active in politics, deciding the fate of our country, some of them in gubernatorial post. At the same time, we find young men in their 40s collapsing in the prime of their career. Life for many of us is unpredictable. For living a span of 100 years, one need not do much. What is needed is a healthy mind. Do not make your mind a dumping yard for non-essential things. Do not load it with unnecessary burdens, for leading a long life, one needs a healthy heart. For keeping one's body and mind healthy, one should be willing to make some small sacrifices. Non-vegetarian food should be avoided as far as possible, smoking should be avoided, so also liquor. It is wrong to claim that we cannot give up any habits. There should be will to give up unhealthy habits. If your life's journey ends abruptly, one should imagine the fate of one's own dependents. To give up cigarette smoking, take a piece of paper and write in it, "I have given up cigarette for the sake of my family," and keep that paper in your pocket always. Whenever you feel like smoking, take out that paper and read, then you will not do it. When we cross the middle age, we must be willing to modify our lifestyle. One should not think that alcohol alone is happiness. Playing with children and helping one's friends or neighbors can give more satisfaction and happiness than alcohol. 3 White food products: sugar, salt, and flour are the cause of several diseases. If you avoid these whites, then you can avert major ailments. Besides boycotting these whites, you should strive to keep your mind plain white, avoiding dark thoughts. Every 41 days, a minimum of 10 glasses of water should be drunk. Our food items should be natural. It is not enough to give good physical exercise for your body. It is good to undertake mind jogging to keep your mind clean and fresh. Reading good books or listening to good music should be cultivated. Your body may shrink in old age, but your mind should not. Take a vow that I have given up cigarette for the sake of my family, and write that vow in a piece of paper and keep it in your pocket. Every time you feel an urge, read them as a reminder from the note. 42 Midday siesta good for health. The gentleman has just retired from high-profile political office. Suddenly, he complained of chest pain one day and was rushed to the hospital. But even before commencement of treatment, he collapsed. Upset by her husband's sudden death, his wife went into an outburst of tears. All those watching the scene could not control their tears. In a fit of emotion, the wife fell on the body of her dead husband. When she did not rise from the body, her son attempted to get her up. He could not, as the woman also had died of shock. This incident had happened in Coimbatore not long ago. People may call this as love, affection, infatuation, etc. But medically speaking, such emotional outbursts is an invitation to death. Emotional stress is also one of the contributing factors for such disasters. Hence the call for mental equipoise to face any eventualities in life. There are a number of politicians in Tamil Nadu and elsewhere. They have faced innumerable challenges, successes or failures in their political career, but they never wilt under any circumstances. No success has turned their heads. By learning to take everything in its strides, they have achieved pinnacle of their careers. Excessive emotion or fear is wrong. It was Shakespeare who said that cowards die many times before their death. 50% of the casualties due to heart attacks can be attributed to fear of death. Balanced food, time management, moderate physical exercise, pranayama or breathing exercises and mental harmony would keep any ailments at bay from us. This includes heart attacks also. Non-vegetarian food is not necessary for healthy life. There are millions who lead a healthy life with vegetarian diet. Everyone should draw up a timetable for their daily chores. Breathing should be normal. The practice of yoga can freshen one's brain, mind, and body. One should not work under 43 stress throughout the day non-stop. It is good to have half an hour of relaxation and rest after noon lunch. This is called midday siesta in Italy. It is a common knowledge that a manual laborer earning Rs.100 a day or weed-removing agricultural woman worker does not get heart attack. It is only in urban areas, even an 8-year-old boy complains of tension, etc. A contented mind would ensure good life. Afternoon lunch, everyone should relax for half an hour. This is called siesta in Italy. Not all chest pains are heart attacks. We have two types of people. One would ignore every symptom of chest pain as gas trouble and neglect treatment. There are those who get panicky every time there is a shooting pain in their chest. Both reactions should be avoided. There is no need to be panicky every time you feel a slight pain in the chest. There are a number of reasons for chest pain. There is a group of conditions called non-cardiac chest pains, about which one should be conversant. Between neck and stomach, there is a serous membrane called pleura covering the lungs. The inflammation of the pleura is called pleurisy, resulting in pain from deep breathing. Accumulation of fluid in the pleural sacs can also cause chest pain. The attack of tuberculosis on breastbone or sternum can also cause chest ache. The intake of spicy food also irritates food pipe, causing inflammation, which may also cause pain in the chest region. This is also called heartburn in common parlance. If there is accumulation of fluid in the cartilage region, a pain is felt in the chest region. In the middle sternum, if there is accumulation of fluid, one may feel pain in the middle region. If there is a case of attack of pneumonia in the lungs, the great aorta and the arteries may have lumps or inflammation, in which pain in the chest is a possibility. If there is any obstruction in the windpipe, there is scope for chest pain. Hence there is no need to get panicky every time one feels chest pain. Even slow creeping cancer can cause chest pain. In all such cases, a simple X-ray would go a long way in allaying one's fears. Sometimes, an ECG will also be useful. In case of attack of pneumonia in lungs, administration of injections for a period of 10 days will be sufficient. In case of pleurisy, administration of injectable drugs for 30 days would be sufficient. 45 Hence there is no need to get alarmed every time one has pain in the chest. But to ensure that these episodes of chest pains are non-cardiac in nature, confirmatory tests by competent doctors are essential. Every case of chest pain need no mean cardiac problem. There may be several other causes. Hence there is need to undergo routine confirmatory tests in time. 46 Catching by legs. In a cricket match, if a batsman obstructs the ball with his legs, he will be declared out. Hence many crafty bowlers aim their ball to the batsman's legs. It seems heart attacks also sometimes target the legs. Sometimes, when you are walking, suddenly you feel a pinch of pain in your chest. Sometimes the calf muscles may be feeling the pinch. You may try to get over it by massaging the calves by a native oil and resume walking. You will be surprised to know that such pain in the calves may be a signal for portending heart attack. When you are climbing the stairs, if you feel chest pain, unstable angina, you get relief by munching sorbide nitrate tablets under the tongue. This pain is caused by interruption in the flow of blood to coronary arteries. It can be called a whimper of your heart. If such pain in the calf muscles persists, it is called intermittent claudication. The symptoms should also not be ignored. It may lead to heart attacks or even strokes. Our calf muscles should be strong to enable us to walk properly. If there is any interruption in the blood flow to the calves, it may lead to severe pain in the calf muscles. This is also called deep vein thrombosis. The intravascular blood clot is called thrombosis. To detect this condition, the patient has to undergo a preliminary test called ankle break-in index. Under this test, blood pressure in the arms and legs is analyzed to ensure that they are normal. Next, another test called Doppler ultrasound is administered. This machine picks up the velocity of the blood flow through the vein. If the vein is occluded, obstructed, no ultrasound signals are heard, which means that there is no blood flow. 47 If the obstruction, occlusion, is in the early stages, it can be relieved through drugs. Otherwise, the clot can be removed as is done for coronary arteries. For understanding this task, specially trained vascular surgeons are available in leading hospitals in the country. Nearly 70% of the patients, who report such pain in the calf muscles, are prone to heart attacks. Some of them may also suffer brain attacks, stroke. There are certain visible indications revealing interruption in blood flow in their legs. The leg skin with interrupted blood flow may become dark. Then, the tips of fingers or toes may shrink, called as gangrene in medical jargon. Habitual smokers are more prone to gangrene. There are separate treatments available whenever there is any stoppage of blood flow to any part of the body, be it hands, legs, brain, kidney or heart. If timely treatments are not adopted, it may lead to various complications. A pain in the leg cannot be ignored. It may be the god of death, Yama, catching you by your legs. If blood flow to any part of human anatomy, whether hands, limbs, brain, heart, or kidney, is interrupted, there are modern surgical procedures for relief. 48 Tears are healthy. Sunita Williams goes moon jogging. Mayawati becomes the chief minister of a populous Uttar Pradesh. Women pilots fly an aeroplane from Chennai to Colombo. The economy of Kerala is determined by its womenfolk. Once considered a force to reckon with in the world, women have now become a driving force of the world. It is true that male chauvinistic world does not care much for the health of its women. It is also true that women themselves do not care much about their own health. In spite of these factors, women continue to drive the world. What is the secret of their stamina? Women are often goal-driven. They never accept defeat or disappointment. Nothing wrong if they cry much over their disappointments. It is wrong to keep every grievance locked up in your heart. By releasing their tension in the form of tears, women get a fresh lease of life. Such a transformation cannot be expected among male folk. Hence woman's tears are her shield of safety. When a man is depressed, it is his female counterpart who encourages him to pursue his goal with vigor. It is the bounden duty of society to give education and material comforts to girls, so that they can be useful partners of the society. It is incumbent on the part of every householder to look after the health needs of the women in the house. It is not enough to call one's wife sweetheart endearingly. One should take all efforts to keep her in good physical condition. Whatever their innate physical disabilities, women generally postpone medical treatment under some pretext or the other. Hence it is for the husband to take special care of the health of his partner. Men should take Mediclaim insurance to give all-out protection to their women and family members. Prompt treatment should be given to silently suffering women. It is true that women suffer less from heart attacks, but they are not immune to heart failures. 49 women suffer 2 times more than their male counterparts, in regard to incidence of heart failure. Due to excessive reading habits, deep involvement in the exciting world of information technology and office atmosphere, women are often subject to excessive mental stress, leading to impairment of myocardium, the middle layer of the heart valve. Women are also increasingly subject to primary pulmonary hypertension affecting the lungs. It is caused by the accumulation of the abdominal fat by women in the age group of 16 to 36 years. If this condition is not diagnosed early, its incidence will be aggravated in the case of middle-aged women of 40 to 50 years. Timely administration of drugs to control this condition is available. If these symptoms are ignored at early stages, this may later on call for major procedures, such as heart transplants. Whether it is your mother, wife, or sister or daughter, a woman is God's gift. It is the duty of every man to cherish this gift. It is wrong to lock up every grievance in one's heart. By relieving their built-up grievance through shedding tears, women often get a fresh lease of life. 50. Beware of smoking guns. George Bernard Shaw once described cigarette smoking as fire at one end, fool at the other. How true it is. A leading film star in the South made millions by throwing burning cigarette in the air and catching it in the lips, but many millions of youth by imitating the style of celluloid hero spoiled their lives. Every minute you smoke, your lifespan is reduced by a minute, according to a research finding. Cigarette smoking is a free ride to the deadly world of heart attack. Not only on the occasion of World Anti-Tobacco Day, but throughout the year, KG Heart Hospital has been campaigning for a smoke-free world. It is estimated that nearly 1/3 of the global population is addicted to this dirty habit. An estimated 100 crores of people are slaves to this habit. Adult males account for 42%, adult females just 12%, and the rest are juveniles. It is also statistically established that between 1950 and 2000, smoking has claimed the lives of 6 crores people in the world. This figure is more than the casualties of the Second World War. According to World Health Organization report for 1950, every year, 40 lakh people die of smoking. This means that we are losing one life every 8 seconds due to smoking. Not only cigarettes, tobacco of any form is harmful to human beings. The carbon monoxide emanating from cigarette burning would reduce the oxygen content in your blood. This means that your heart gets less oxygenated blood. It will also create deposits in your arteries, reducing blood flow. The nicotine content in the cigarette would raise your heartbeat as well as your blood pressure, resulting in oxygen deficiency in your heart. The chemical will also stiffen your blood vessels and arteries. Brain workers who indulge in smoking without doing much physical labor are more prone to serious hazards. 51. So far as our country is concerned, it is only the menfolk who indulge in this nefarious practice, since in India, the head of the household is invariably male. Any harm to male householder will have serious impact on all members of the family. Giving up cigarette smoking is not a mere challenge. It is a matter of life and death, in the long run. Present-day youth are intelligent, with immense potential, but by indulging in such silly habits, they are forfeiting their precious lives. There are more pleasurable activities in life than cigarette smoking. By giving up smoking, your heart and body are kept clean and you lead a refreshing life. Habitual smokers should not hesitate to have periodical heart checkups. Smoking is your enemy and avoid it at all costs. Cigarette smoking throughout the world has claimed 6 crores of lives from 1950 to 2000 according to World Health Organization. This is more than the casualties of the Second World War. 52. Door-to-balloon hour. An incredible feat. Shankar is a columnist writing medical articles in popular journals. One morning, he found his aged mother sleeping beyond her hours in the bed. Probably she was tired, after overnight work, and let her sleep, so thinking he left her alone. At 8 o'clock, the 72-year-old mother woke up and came out of the bathroom after mouthwash. She started staggering at the door and Shankar's sister rushed to her to protect her from falling. Shankar's sister called out her brother and told him that mother is complaining of giddiness. The old woman had a history of health problem, including diabetes, high blood pressure, thyroid impairment, and heart problems. Despite these complications, the old lady is of a strong will. She has allergy only towards doctors. Due to persuasion of her children, she called up the hospital for diabetes and health checkup just a week ago. The diabetologist had advised the old lady to gulp 2 tablets in the morning to control her high blood sugar. Doctors had warned that the old lady may get giddiness and fainting in the morning due to high blood sugar. Since he has read number of health articles in journals and also had written about it, Shankar tried to contact few of his medical friends immediately, but of no avail. Imagining that the mother might have a fall in blood sugar level, Shankar himself administered chocolate, gruel, and glucose water to his aged mother, but they did not have any effect. Shankar sensed something was wrong with his mother. He immediately called KG Heart Hospital, who rushed a specially equipped ambulance unit to his house. The lady was taken to the hospital in the stretcher, kept in the ambulance within 15 minutes. Even while the ambulance was on the road, he gave a brief description of the condition of his mother to the medical doctors in the hospital through his mobile phone. Even as the ambulance reached the hospital, a team of doctors and cardiologists were 53 waiting at the gates. They rushed the patient to the intensive care unit, where a team of doctors swung into action. A quick ECG done on the patient looked like the scribbling of a kid. The heartbeat was slowly grinding to a halt. The cardiologist told the anxiously waiting patient's kinsman that it was a case of massive heart attack. Shankar anticipated it. Within half an hour, the patient was rushed to * cath lab, where an angiogram was administered. The angiogram revealed 5 blockages in the arteries of the patient. On 6 occasions, emergency angioplasty is performed, but even for performing angioplasty, an interval of 2 hours should have lapsed after the attack. This is the normal practice in the United States, but the doctors at K.G. Hospital gave angioplasty within 1 hour. Through balloon angioplasty, not only all the 5 blockages were removed, the smashed particles of lump were excised from the body through another modern procedure. Such simultaneous twin procedures are possible only in modern hospitals, equipped with trained surgeons, such as KG Hospital, Coimbatore. During the performance of twin procedure, a pacemaker was also employed to regulate heartbeat. Thanks to the teamwork of the medical unit, the patient was able to recover from the jaws of death in a shortest time. Shankar is a well-informed person. Hence he was able to judge that his mother is having * silent heart attack, which is common among diabetics. Patients will not be conscious of any pain in case of silent heart attack. By giving emergency treatment, within 90 minutes of attack, the old lady was able to survive. This precious 90 minutes is called door to balloon hour in medical circles. Balloon refers to angioplasty. This is an incredible feat for any hospital, and KG Hospital is proud of its achievement in this regard. The credit should also go to the patient's son, Shankar, for his forethought. Thanks to simultaneous coordinated team effort by a team of dedicated doctors and technicians, an old lady got a new lease of life, at KG. A hospital, and history was made. 54A stay for heart attack. Balasubramaniam is a 71-year-old leading lawyer of Musiri. He had a lucrative practice stretching over 5 decades. He is normally vegetarian at home. But occasionally, he used to take non-vegetarian dishes while partying with his friends in restaurants. He also used to smoke, which he gave up just a year ago. As he aged, his lifestyle became routine. Either he will be at court or spending his time in walking in leisure. Few days ago, he felt a tinge of pain in his chest in the early hours of a morning. He was confused, as he had given up liquor, smoking as well as non-vegetarian food. His body is also slim. When he narrated his experience to his wife advised him to consult the family doctor at Trichy. The doctor advised him to undergo ECG as well as echocardiogram tests, but they gave him a clean bill to his heart. He felt comfortable. One day, while he was reading the newspaper, he came across an item detailing the installation of a revolutionary 128-slice CT scanner at KG Hospital, Coimbatore. He was impressed with the announcement that the modern scanner can detect any heart ailment within 5 minutes. The news item was tempting to him to get a checkup for his heart. He rushed to KG Hospital, Coimbatore, for screening through 128-slice Cort scanner. After routine ECG and echocardiogram tests, he was given non-ionic dye before administering the modern 128-slice Cort scan. The findings were a shocker. The scan revealed 3 blockages in his coronary arteries at 3 places. The blockages ranged from 60%, 70%, and 80% and were in advanced stages of growth. This meant that they may choke the arteries at any time. The cardiologists at the hospital immediately advised the lawyer to undergo bypass surgery without any delay. He underwent bypass surgery within a week and returned home safe. 55. The new 128-slice Cort scan is not administered indiscriminately. Only after series of preparatory tests, the patient is given 128-slice Cort scan, and that too only with the consent of the patient's referral doctor. What is to be noted is that the routine ECG or echocardiogram tests fail to detect the heart's impairment, which was revealed under the revolutionary 128-slice Cort scanner. A chance scanning by this new device had helped the senior lawyer to unearth the hidden blockages in his heart and thus saved him his precious life. As a senior lawyer, he is accustomed to several legal notices to clients, but he himself was not aware that he is under notice of death warrant from his heart attack. Thanks to a revolutionary CT scanner, the lawyer got a stay from death warrant. The routine tests like ECG and echocardiogram have failed to detect his heart's impairment, but a chance scanning under the revolutionary 128-slice Cort scanner gave a new lease of life to the senior lawyer of Musiri. 56. Prevention is better than cure. There is a well-known saying that a stitch in time saves 9. Periodical health checkups at least once in 2 years will go a long way to ensure long life. All airline pilots undergo treadmill tests once every 6 months. People in stressful occupations should undertake periodical checkups for their hearts. People who ordinarily rush to doctors every time there is an ache in the stomach generally are reluctant to visit doctors when they have a pain in the chest under one pretext or other. A heart attack does not affect only an individual, his entire family, kith, and kin are equally affected. An employer who manages a company should have a sound heart and healthy body to ensure continuity. Otherwise, everything, his name, fame or income, would go away in a jiffy. It is wrong to imagine that most of us are immune from heart attack. Even if small part of the heart degenerates, it may lead to serious impairment of artery and valves. Ultimately, if the flow of blood to the heart is impeded, our heart will come to a standstill. If you feel breathlessness while climbing stairs or feeling heavy pain in your chest after full meal, you must take it as a signal for impending heart problem. When your heart contracts, 60% of the blood should outflow, otherwise, it will mean major disaster. This condition can be easily detected with the help of echocardiogram. Even if you are without diabetes or blood sugar, a vegetarian, leading a disciplined organized life, and even if you have no symptom of heart problems, you must undertake routine ECG tests at least once in 2 years. 57. Some may experience increased heartbeat while engaged in sexual intercourse. On such occasions, he should come forward to undergo few tests. Confirmatory tests in the early stages will go a long way in averting a major problem. Those ambitious for high achievement in life should not be afraid to face few tests. When your heart contracts, 60% of the blood should exit, otherwise, it means you are in trouble. 58. A kiss of life. If your heart comes to a standstill, it can be revived within few minutes. One day, You may come across someone busy engaged in talking. Suddenly, he collapses clutching his chest in his hands. On such occasion, the practice is for feeling his pulse in his wrist or under the neck. After this, the patient's clothes should be loosened. Then you should watch his stomach to find out whether there is any movement due to breathing. If there is no movement in the stomach wall and if he has stopped breathing, then one should conclude that his heart has stopped functioning. One should not get panicky or alarmed. The affected person should be placed lying on the ground. 2 or 3 pillows should be kept under the feet, so that his feet are well above his head level. Head should be firmly lying on the firm ground, while the legs should be kept 1 to 2 feet about the ground level. In such a position, the blood from the legs would start flowing into the heart. It should revive the heart. If there is no movement in the chest, one should place one's own hands, palm, on the sternum, middle region of the chest. With another hand, a blow should be administered on the hand in the chest. Such an action will move the sternum to touch the heart muscle and make it function. This is called cardiac thump in medical jargon. Even after cardiac thump, if the heart does not revive, then artificial mouth-to-mouth resuscitation should be resorted to. This procedure is called kiss of life, where an operator breathes air into the patient's lungs for reactivating the heart. This is also called gift of life rated on PAR with blood donation during an emergency. If after all these procedures, the heart does not revive, then cardiac massage should be resorted to. This procedure involves massaging the heart by hand in the chest wall. A rhythmic compression of the chest wall is done as if pumping a cycle tube. The palm of 59 the hand is placed on the chest in the lower region of the breastbone and firmly compressed between 60 and 80 times a minute, alternating with mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. All the 4 procedures should be completed within 3 minutes of cardiac arrest. This procedure is called cardiopulmonary resuscitation, CPR, in medical jargon. Whether somebody collapses due to sudden cardiac arrest or inoculation, these first aid measures should be undertaken, without fail. Only once in a lifetime, you will get such opportunity to give gift of life to another person. 4 first aid measures should be undertaken within first 3 minutes of cardiac arrest. These measures are called cardiopulmonary resuscitation. 60 unclean surroundings and unhealthy heart. 20-year-old Dunya is a sprightly young girl who has just finished her diploma course and was looking for a job. During a family wedding, parents of an eligible boy spotted Daya. They liked the girl very much and wanted to fix her for their only son. Parents trekked to the girl's house and the boy fell for Dunya, moved by her charm. The bridegroom is a software engineer employed in Dubai and earning a fabulous salary. Impressed by the boy's credentials, the girl's parents okayed the wedding proposal. Dunya was prancing in the wonderland of married life for over a month when a phone call was received by Dunya's parents. The son-in-law's mother spoke in anger at the other end of the phone, angrily shouting that they have loaded them with a sick girl in marriage. Dunya's parents, Kana Kaval, and his wife, could not believe their ears. They rushed to their daughter's wedded house to find her stricken with a sore throat and cold with breathlessness. The confused parents took their married daughter to their doctor. The doctor, after conducting various diagnostic tests, gave a verdict of rheumatic heart disease. Rheumatic heart fever is a severe disease affecting children and young adults due to infection of their upper respiratory tract by a bacteria known as Streptococcus. The condition may lead to rheumatic heart disease, in which there is scarring and inflammation of the heart valves. This disease is called Saravangi or Vadhajwaram in Tamil. An estimated 12 crores of people in the world are affected by this condition, according to World Health Organization. This disease is widespread in poorer countries like India and its victims are usually in the age group of 5 to 15 years. Unhygienic surroundings are the main cause for this infection. People living in crowded localities with poor sanitation and hygiene are prone to this condition. Children with this condition first exhibit sore throat, followed with fever. If it is not immediately 61 attended to, the children will develop joint pain called rheumatoid arthritis. Thereafter, they will be feeling pain in all joints of the body. they will develop less resistance to fight diseases, which will ultimately end in damage to heart valve. Doctors used to describe this condition as one licking the joint to bite the heart valve. If the condition is diagnosed in the early stage, there is hope. Otherwise, it may call for replacement of the heart valves itself, which is an expensive surgical procedure. The heart valves get thicker and lose their elasticity and stretch. This may affect the flow of blood into brain, resulting in stroke. Hence it is always advisable to treat the condition at the earliest stages in childhood. Children infected by Streptococcus bacteria will initially develop sore throat and mild fever. If they are not treated promptly at that stage, they will develop arthritis, pain in the joints, in later stages. This disease affects the body's immune system. Later on, the infection will affect the heart valves also. 62 Doctor-induced blood pressure. Blood pressure is only a symptom, it is not a disease. The other day, a 45-year-old woman was recuperating in her ward after a brain surgery. In the morning checkup, her blood pressure read 180 mm and 110 mm. After some time, the hospital nurse took the patient to another room for a checkup. Now the blood pressure read 130/80. The hospital attendants were confused. Why this variation? Our heart is located in the center of our body. Our heart pumps blood to all parts of the body, including brain, limbs, kidney, it. Only when the HEARF muscles contract, pressure is created. It is this pressure that is measured. Just like pumping water to the overhead tank from a motor pump set on the ground, only when the heart pumps blood, it will flow to other parts of the human anatomy, including brain. The blood pressure should be around 100 mm, and if it falls below that figure, you will have low blood pressure. A schoolboy, who goes to school half-starved in the morning, may faint in the morning school assembly due to fall in his blood pressure. Cricket players and football players who receive a high-velocity ball in their navel region called solar plexus, may experience fainting due to the impairment of sympathetic nerves in the region. The fall in blood pressure due to impact of heavy blow is the cause for such fainting. Blood pressure should not be allowed to fall on any account. The pressure during contraction of the heart is called systolic pressure, the pressure experienced during expansion of the heart is called diastolic pressure. When the heart contracts, the blood pressure will be around 100 mm, while the heart expands, it will be around 70 mm in normal practice. In normal persons, the blood 63 pressure should be in the range of 90 to 100. Obese people can have blood pressure of 126 mm, while lean persons may exhibit a reading of 86 mm. It does not mean that they are not normal, they need not rush to doctor for treatment. Blood pressure is only an indicator or measurement. It is not a disease. One need no panic every time if there is an anomaly in their BP readings. Unnecessary fear itself may lead one to disease. A man with some symptoms of disease comes to a hospital, a white-coated doctor in the clinic loudly orders his nurse to take the BP of the patient. When the nurse takes the reading, it is found to be abnormally high. After some time, in a relaxed mood, the same person undergoes another BP measurement under the guidance of another cute-looking nurse. The reading is now normal. This phenomenon is called white coat hypertension, an externally induced phenomenon. It means unnecessary fear itself may shoot up one's BP reading. Hence it is not necessary that one should check up one's BP only at a nursing home. Even an ordinary laboratory can give correct measurement. People who can afford can install a BP monitor at home and take out their readings after a strenuous exercise. But single reading of blood pressure, whether it is on the high side or low side, should not be a cause for panic. Fear may shoot up one's blood pressure readings. Hence it is not necessary that one should get their BP readings from the hospitals only. A laboratory in the neighborhood would do the job. 64 Heart of the matter. Purity in heart. Clarity in brain. These are the hallmarks of a noble man, but iPhone has to choose between head and heart. One has to choose heart as precursor to good healthy life. To emphasize the importance of keeping one's heart healthy, World Heart Day is being celebrated throughout the world. A decade ago, every month, hardly 3 or 4 people used to report with heart problems to K.G. Heart Hospital, Coimbatore. Now about 30 people every month are being screened for heart ailments. In India, an estimated 1 lakh people suffer from heart attacks every year. It is a matter of anguish that only 10% of the affected patients survive. The rest succumb to failure of first aid and prompt treatment within early moments of heart attack. One of the reasons for high incidence of heart attacks among Indians is that their coronary arteries are narrower than their counterparts in the West. In the West, the diameter of the artery is around 2 mm to 3 mm. But in India, the diameter is only about 1 to 1.5 mm. In addition to narrow artery, the lifestyle and dietary habits cause deposits of fats in the arteries, leading to cardiac arrest and heart attack. To avoid major heart problems, one should undertake various preventive measures. It is advisable to have periodical check-ups once a year. One should periodically check up their blood pressure, blood glucose level and undergo ECG tests for early detection. Of late, even youth and women in India are increasingly subjected to incidents of heart problems, which is not a healthy trend. If people are encouraged to undertake physical exercise, good dietary practice, pranayamam and brisk morning walk, right from the young age, it will go a long way in reducing the incidence of this calamity. Prevention is always better than cure. A good Mediclaim insurance policy is also a must for everyone. 65.